To the 2025 legislative session. Tonight we're hearing from Oregon House Republicans on their priorities. The caucus laid out their views on housing, homelessness, education, and affordability for Oregonians today. Katu's Vasily Varlamos is in Salem with more on what Republicans are saying and where Democrats stand on the issues.
Oregon House Republicans speaking on their legislative agenda in a press conference Thursday morning with words on key issues such as housing and homelessness, education, affordability, and more. Representative Vicki Brees Iverson says solving the housing crisis will require three things: land, more infrastructure, and streamlined regulations. The representative adding the need to partner with the private sector to produce more housing. I asked how they plan to work with the private sector and what protections are in place for home buyers.
It is a careful balance with good communication and conversation across the aisle and with our private sectors, the developers, the cities, to find the balance that allows folks to buy their first home and move into their second home on down the housing spectrum.
Democrats are focused on producing more housing as well. Katu spoke with Democrat and Senate President Rob Wagner a few weeks ago before the session started about housing. He says they've invested. It just takes time to see results.
We put billions of dollars into this space, helping local communities with infrastructure investment, trying to bring more housing online. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to actually go and see those investments play themselves out, but we're not backing away from our commitment. You're going to see additional attention this legislative session.
Coming up at 6, I'll share more words from the press conference with additional plans from Democrats. In Salem, Vasily Varlamos, K2 News.
Housing, homelessness, education, and affordability for Oregonians. Today, House Republicans laid out their priorities for the current legislative session.
And K2's Vasily Varlamos is in Salem with Republican stance on taxes, plus what we've heard from Democrats.
Oregon House Republicans laying out their legislative agenda Thursday. One of their priorities, affordability. Representative Lucetta Elmer says Oregonians can't afford to live in their home state.
We want you and your family to keep more of what you make by cutting your income taxes and opposing new taxes and regulations that increase the cost of living.
Elmer says House Republicans are committed to opposing new gas taxes, income taxes, and tolling. K2 spoke with Democrat and House Speaker Julie Fahey a few weeks before the session started about potential new taxes. Some Republicans feel that because Democrats have a supermajority, they can force a tax increase without their consideration. Speaker Fahey says that's not the case.
In the 2 years before that, we did have a supermajority, and we also took one tax vote, and it was about aviation fuels, making sure our airports had the revenue they need. And that was almost unanimous in the legislature. So anytime we take a tax vote in the legislature, we take it very seriously.
Democrat and Senate President Rob Wagner says there needs to be a distinct plan when discussing new taxes.
I think we need to be intentional and deliberate and communicative with the general electorate when we're considering any revenue-raising measure.
Both Democrats and Republicans say they are committed to working across the aisle on these topics in the best interest of Oregonians.
We are committed to working together and working with our colleagues across the aisle to getting Oregon back on the right track.
I'll keep you updated on any legislation regarding these key issues. In Salem, Vasily Varlamos, K2 News.